Welcome back to Nexus. I'm Emily, and today we're diving into one of the most compelling debates in the world of economics. Cooperation versus competition. Which one drives economic progress and which one could be holding us back? In this video, we'll explore how these two forces shape our world and, more importantly, how we can use them together to solve some of the biggest economic problems facing our global community today. Let's start by looking at competition, a concept that's deeply ingrained in the capitalist system and often seen as a driving force behind innovation and progress. Competition is what pushes businesses to improve. It drives the search for better products, more efficient services, and lower prices. Without competition, there's little incentive to improve. Take the tech industry, for example. The race between companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Google has led to incredible breakthroughs in technology. Just think of how far we've come in a few decades, from personal computers to smartphones to artificial intelligence. This kind of competition encourages creativity and sparks progress. The competitive environment forces companies to stay on their toes, always thinking about what's next. This keeps the economy dynamic and helps create new industries, jobs, and technologies. But while competition has clear benefits, it also comes with serious downsides. When competition becomes too fierce, it can lead to inequality and market monopolies. When a few companies control the entire market, they have less incentive to innovate and more power to exploit consumers. We also see a growing gap between the rich and the poor. The wealth of the top 1% continues to grow, while millions around the world struggle to make ends meet. This inequality doesn't just cause social unrest, it can also destabilize economies. And here's where cooperation comes into play. While competition can be a powerful engine for innovation, many of the biggest challenges we face today can only be solved by working together. Let's think about something like climate change. Climate change isn't a problem that any one country, business, or individual can solve alone. The impacts are global, and the solutions need to be global too. Look at the Paris Agreement, a collective effort by nations to limit global warming. Countries, businesses, and individuals have to cooperate to reduce emissions, invest in renewable energy, and protect the planet for future generations. No one can go it alone. This same principle of cooperation applies when we talk about global poverty. The fight against poverty isn't just about charity. It's about creating systems that offer people around the world the tools they need to thrive. This requires collaboration between governments, NGOs, and businesses to create sustainable economies that benefit everyone. It's about making sure that access to education, healthcare, and job opportunities is available to all. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What exactly are the biggest economic problems we face today? And how can we address them by finding the right balance between cooperation and competition? First up, income inequality. In many countries, the gap between the rich and the poor has reached staggering levels. While the wealth of the top 1% continues to grow, wages for the average worker have stagnated, and millions of people around the world live in poverty. The question is, how can we make sure that economic growth benefits everyone, not just the few at the top? One of the answers might lie in inclusive growth. Rather than seeing the economy as a zero-sum game where only a few can succeed, we need to focus on policies that ensure everyone has the opportunity to thrive. This means raising the minimum wage, improving education, and ensuring that wealth is more evenly distributed. Next, let's talk about climate change and environmental degradation. Climate change is one of the most pressing economic challenges of our time. Extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and natural disasters have the potential to disrupt global economies. Not to mention the fact that the industries that rely on fossil fuels face increasing pressures from both environmental and regulatory forces. But here's the thing. Fighting climate change requires cooperation. No one country can solve this alone. We need global action. Governments, businesses, and communities must come together to reduce emissions, invest in green technologies, and transition to renewable energy sources. It's about creating sustainable economic systems that don't just protect the environment, but also create new opportunities for growth and job creation in green industries. Another critical issue is global trade imbalances. Right now, the global trading system is anything but balanced. Some countries run massive trade surpluses, while others have huge deficits. These imbalances can lead to currency fluctuations, debt crises, and political tensions. But the key to solving this issue may lie in finding ways to cooperate on trade policies and ensure that trade benefits all nations, not just a few. We also can't ignore the issue of technological unemployment. Advances in automation, AI, and robotics are transforming industries. While these technologies make businesses more efficient, they also have the potential to displace millions of workers. The question is, how do we ensure that workers aren't left behind as technology progresses? This is where cooperation comes in again. Education and retraining are key to addressing this challenge. We need to create systems where workers can learn new skills and adapt to the changing job market. This requires cooperation between governments, businesses, and educational institutions to ensure that workers are prepared for the jobs of the future. Lastly, let's not forget the impact of health crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic exposed just how interconnected our economies are and how fragile global systems can be in times of crisis. Health issues don't just affect individuals, they have global economic consequences. But just like with climate change, cooperation is the key to overcoming health crises. The global response to the pandemic showed us that when countries, businesses, and individuals work together, we can achieve incredible things. Vaccines were developed at record speed, and nations collaborated to ensure that the most vulnerable populations had access to life-saving treatments. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? The answer lies in balance. We need both competition and cooperation to address the world's biggest economic challenges. Competition drives innovation and growth, but unchecked competition can lead to inequality and instability. Cooperation, on the other hand, ensures that the benefits of progress are shared, and that we can tackle global problems like climate change, poverty, and technological unemployment. To create a more sustainable and equitable world, we need to find ways for these two forces to work together. Governments can regulate markets to ensure fair competition and protect workers and the environment. Public and private sectors can partner up to address big challenges like infrastructure, healthcare, and education. And countries can cooperate globally to tackle issues like climate change and trade imbalances. At the end of the day, it's not about choosing cooperation or competition. It's about finding a way for both to exist in harmony. That's how we can solve the biggest economic problems of our time and build a more prosperous future for everyone. Thanks for watching News Nexus. I'm Emily, and I'll see you in the next video.